Hello everyone, this is Nancy Lynn from Sew Euphoria. Welcome to my channel. I'm going to do a little preamp. This hashtag Roxy's Journal of Stitchery is a collaboration that everyone's doing. Rachel and Sarah are giving us our prompts. And that's what we're creating this from. You can create a book, you can create a banner, or a bunting, as some call it. And the object is just to make whatever you want using slow stitching. And some of the projects, yes, are a little bit long, but that's what slow stitching is about. It's not quick and easy. It's about taking your time, enjoying what you're doing, not being stressed over patterns or anything like that. Now you can if you want to, but now this is the book. Now this one, the first one I'm showing you, is from my one that's about the beach. And what I wanted to show you with this one is I'm going to go through, I've got the prompt for this time was snowman or woodland, and our element is a pocket. So I'll have to, but this one's the reindeer that crashed. But what I have done that's different since the last time you guys seen this is I had showed you that great big thing of rope that I had. I don't have it here with me, but I took it apart. You know, I was talking, when we were talking about this page here, and I was kind of like, oh, I don't know what to do with it. It's so big, and I thought I could buy some more. Well, that's not what I ended up doing. I thought, you know what, I can pull this apart. And so I've used it to edge it around. I think I had watched Carol at Recraft with Carol, and she had done an edge, and that made me think that's exactly what I could do with these. So I did, and I just did a sort of running stitch or overhead stitch all the way around it, a whip stitch, and then I started adding in my pieces that are going to hang up this as a bunting. Now I'm going to, where they tie together, I am going to, this will be draping down after the knot, and I'm probably going to add a little bit of some kind of bangles to go on it, just to give it a little more oomph besides just this here. All right, so that's that one. I did add on my little tabs on here, and these are snapping in. Got the snaps on this side, but I haven't put the snaps on this side. Now this one also, the season's greetings, and I have gone around it with the jute, I guess is what it's called. I'm not sure, but I see how I've tied it here, and I will make something to dangle from there. And then this one will tie on that side, and then the one for the tree, and it's got the little things hanging out from it, and then another tab. Oh, too many pages. And then our little village one. And so all of these are starting to come together now because they are having the edges around them, and I have figured out how I am going to join them between. And what I have decided is I am going to do 6, join them together. And then the other 6, I'll join those together. That way, in case they don't have a big enough spot, they can do 6 and 6, or they can join it all together in one spot. So that way at least they have some options with this. So that was the beach one, and it's coming along. Now on here I am going to do my snowman, but he is going to be made out of like a sand. He'll be more of a browning color, and he'll probably have on some beach wear and some sunglasses and stuff, so he will be more beachy snowman. We like our sand snowmen down here. Also, I have switched to going to these great big boxes because it allows me to put my book in there, all my little scrap fabrics, all my little doodads and whatnots that I'm going to need when I'm working on my beach journal. So, because it was getting too much to have little piles here and there, so that was that one. Now, on my red one, this one is the one I don't have a box for yet. Now, I've gone through here on the red. I still have not done my covers. But what I have done on here is I bought some, well, it should be in here. Here it is. Some red velvet trim. And then I had gotten some, like a coil, and that's what I'm using to join these together. So I have cut my pieces out, I have run them through, sewn them through, and also the other thing I have done with these books since then is I have added the lace trim all the way around the pages. Like I said, usually I like to do batting and then the other piece on the other side. I didn't with this one, and lesson learned. I will do that on the next ones. Just gives you a little more strength, but this helped having the lace trim all the way around. And then I have added my tabs, and then I have the ties here. And then if I come over to this one, I have run these through. They're going through this top slot here. Now I put lace on one side. I did not put the lace on both sides of these. And then with the little Christmas tree, and these are all snapped in. They have the little pieces. Now this one I have tied, and I've tied each one separately. This ribbon was a little too bulky to kind of tie all of them together, but like I said, I am going to put some kind of tassel or something hanging from there. And so that is this one. And now here is my snowman page, and what I'm doing with this is, let me sit back down, make sure I'm centerized. What I'm doing with this stuff is for their arms. I am making them as Christmas carolers, and the person that's going to, there is the mother, the father, and the two girls. So that is on here. I'll be doing lots of stitching in the back of this. And these little pieces that were left over from when I was cutting the book, I will be using these to add their little stick arms. And it is 3 pieces. I've added the back and this on there. It's still, they're all separate, they're just pinned together. And so I'll be able to do, I'll probably do all of my stitching with the batting on it, and the last thing I will add is this one. Now on these, I like some of these are going to have lace on them, and others are just going to have the rough edges on them so that they will unravel a little bit. I do like that look. So there is the 3 books. Here is this here. And I bought some wool felt. I really hadn't worked with it a lot, and I love it. Love, love, love it. And I got it from one of the flock. And so here are the little hymn books. And like I said, I probably am going to stitch on their eyes and the nose and all that, because these are, like, this is, how big is that? It's about 2 inches, and this one's probably about 1.5 inches. So they are going to be, I didn't know about doing all the little fiddly little pieces, so I decided I was going to do all this stitching on there. And so I'm going to pull this out. I'm going to put my book back up, and then this is what we're going to work on today. Alright, I am going to get everything switched, my gears, and get everything set up, and we will get stitching. Be right back. Alright, I'm back and we're going to start doing some sewing, some stitching. And what I wanted to show you was on these, what I have done was I went on to Word and I just used their, you can do different type of shapes and stuff like that on there. And I just took more of an ellipse than a circle, and I started with one size and then I brought it down to the second size and saved it, and then I brought it down to the third side and saved it. And so then what I did with the next one is I used this size for the bottom, the head for the middle, and then I made a new little circle. And then with the other ones, I did the same exact process, just making them each a little smaller and a little smaller. Like this one, this one is a little bigger than the head. This is probably the head size here, and then smaller there. And then the littlest one, little itty bitty one, is the middle one. The middle one is the head, and then I made a little tiniest circle for this one. And they are sewn together at the joints where they meet. And then I went on and added their little scarves. And this was some red glitter that I got from one of the flock. It's pretty. I mean, it's got great sparkle and stuff in there. And the back is the regular, wool felt, but the front top has got it. And so it makes it a little bit harder to needle through. You just got to use a little more oomph behind it. And then I just cut out the little books, and they have been tacked in the different corners on there to make them stay on. So now I'm going to take and put my snowman. Now I've got to remember I have to have my piece up top to join all this banner together, so I don't want this too far up there. And so I'm going to put that, and that looks a little off center middle, and I'm going to put a pin in. Now what I'm using to join this is kind of an off-white, there's a jump ring, crochet thread is what I'm using to put these together. So I'll make sure he's kind of straight. And I'm going to come up from behind, and I'm going to do a blanket stitch to join this all the way around. And I just start by coming back up on my first stitch just to lock it in. And we've done a blanket stitch before, so it's just up and around and bringing it through. Now I'm hoping that this is going to blend in pretty well. I could have used a thread because the thread really does sink into the wool. And this wool is something new for me. I really hadn't worked with it. I've put off doing it, but now I am completely in love with it. As a matter of fact, I will show you another project I'm working on. Another project. And I'm just taking a little bite. And there are a lot of different ways to do this buttonhole. I just like to wrap around it. Some people keep it behind the thread. They'll tell you to do it that way. Now what I'm doing here is I don't want it to be right on the thing, so I'm just grabbing the fabric right behind. how is everyone out there? Hopefully everyone is having good health and is safe and happy and stitching. I'll tell you, I stitch just about all day long. I cook in between or run and go do something in between, but like all the nasty jobs like the toilet or all those things that we just love to do. But luckily I am retired and can do this. So now on the I think it was one of the last videos, I had said to you guys that I was going to the doc to get my cataracts checked with the cataract doctor, not my retinal specialist. And I went, and unfortunately at this time they cannot do my cataracts. I came up with some other weird thing on my eyes that they have to work on first before. And he was so sweet. He just was like, you poor thing. He said, the poor eyes, I don't know how they're hanging in there because you've got so much going on with them. But you know what? You take it with a grain of salt. You roll on with it. You keep on doing what you can do. And you thank God every night and every day for another day of sight. So, but I know that it's getting closer to the point where I may not be able to do this stuff anymore. And so, in contingency of that, I have made up lots of 5.5-inch squares so that hopefully I can still keep my hands going. Even if I can't see, I've kind of put them in bags, and I'm sure my husband will go in there, and if I tell him, grab me these colors. But hopefully not. Hopefully I've got years ahead with God's blessing. But that's what we're going to be doing, and you can see a little bit of it around there, but to me that just shows that it's, you know, hand stitched, it's handmade. It's not, you know, a cookie cutter. Somebody just didn't print these out on a machine and you got 9 million of them. And so we've got all this going. I'm not going to bore you with stitching all these back on. On my next one, I probably will come in when I'm going to add the arms on here. And the face will probably be the next video that will be doing all that little stuff and adding all that on there. But I did want to show you my other project, and I am going to make a pattern of this because it's, I saw a picture of one of these, and it was from a home and gardens type thing, some magazine years ago, and nobody seems to be able to find the pattern. So, and I loved it for my niece, my great niece, and it's slow stitching and it's with wool, and but I'm also using some acrylic wool on some of these pieces. And what it is going to be a dollhouse, and it's going to sit like this, and so that way each place has its own little scene. There's a round circle that I made that goes up underneath it, but I will be selling this pattern. I'm making little dolls. Don't look at this one, the thing, but she's a little mermaid to go with my little beach scene. You know me, I gotta have my beach scene. And then this one's got the dolphin and the little doll, and she's in a little bathing suit. And each one has a little pocket that it can go on. This one is going to be for spring. These are going to be like the 4 seasons. This one will be spring. This one's the fall one, and I'm working on a piece to go in here that's going to pop out. This piece is here, and it's going to attach to the bottom. It's a little house, and so it's going to pop open. It'll have a little door, and I have a little tiny little doll that's going to go with this one. And then this is the start of the roof that's going to go on there. And so that's that. Then on here will be the back page. Here will be the front page, and I'm going to do a castle on the front. But it's been lots of fun, and this is going to be the winter scene. I just love this fabric. And so I will be putting a pattern as I work through this with step-by-step instructions for anyone who has a little girl out there who would like to do that. I'm not promising it will be today, but it will be coming up. And so for all my Roxy subscribers out there, I hope that you are enjoying this one with the snowman. I saw one of the ladies out there, she had worked on a snowman, so she was ready and gone on this one. This one kind of took me a little bit. I had to kind of sit back and think about it. So that's why I'm probably a few days late getting a video out, was because I had to contemplate. Now on the green set that I'm doing, it's going to be kind of the same thing. It's going to have the 2 carolers because it's going to my other niece, and it's her and her husband. And so they'll be a little bit bigger on the page, but it's going to have the 2 carolers. So I'll have to make some bigger circles. And so we'll see. But like I said, I just wanted to take you along on here, see what's coming up and what's going on, and just have fun with your stitching. All right, this is Nancy. I'll see you next time. Bye.